Good day, everyone. Today, we're diving into a critical aspect of ethics in governance: the responsible use of public funds. In a democracy, good governance means transparency, accountability, and a service to the people. This means that elected officials are held accountable for every peso spent, as these funds belong to the people, pera ng taong bayan.
I move to terminate the budget of the Office of the Vice President.
In recent years, the topic of confidential and intelligent funds, or CIFs, has gained public scrutiny. Confidential funds are often justified or sensitive, security related activities, yet they require careful oversight due to their inherently private nature. But when such funds lack transparency, we, the public, have a duty to ask: are these funds truly being used in our best interest?
Assalamualaikum. Madayaog maayong adlaw kaninyong tanan. Magandang araw sa inyong lahat.
Vice President Sara Duterte has recently faced intense scrutiny regarding her office's use of confidential funds. Lawmakers and watchdogs have questioned the patterns of spending, noting a lack of accountability and transparency in handling these funds. Let's explore the details, dissecting them through the ethical principles of good political governance.
According to the Inquirer, during the House Committee on Appropriation budget hearings, Representative Gutierrez and others raised concerns about substantial amounts in confidential funds within the Vice President's office. A reported 500 million pesos was set aside in confidential funds, yet much of this remains unaccounted for. Representative Gutierrez expressed that the issue isn't merely about numbers. He noted a troubling lack of accountability surrounding these funds and emphasized that public funds are not personal resources. The funds allocated to the office of the Vice President are meant to serve the Filipino people, not for undisclosed uses or potential misuse. Vice President Duterte responded by attributing these accusations to political motivations, stating, "There was no misuse of any funds." However, representatives like Valeriano questioned the completeness of the Vice President's responses. He highlighted that the office claimed 977,615 beneficiaries and nearly 800 strategic partnerships, yet there has been no public verification of these claims.
Ngunit, itong nakaraang linggo, inilantad ng Vice President ang kanyang hindi kagandahang asal at kawalan ng respeto sa ating saligang batas at demokratikong republika. Dito sa Kamara, hindi natin tinatapatan ng kabastusan ang kabastusan. Maling asal kasi yan. Sa Maynila at dito sa Kamara, pamantayan natin ang pagiging magalang kasi kaugaliang Pilipino yan. Maling akala ni Vice President na siya hindi maaring salungatin ng kahit sino. Yan ang nasaksihan natin sa budget hearing ng Office of the Vice President. Maling akala ni VP na may kapangyarihan siyang utusan ng Committee on Appropriation na palitan ang presiding officer nito. Sa halip na sagutin ng matino ang mga tanong ng Kongreso ay paulit-ulit lang na binasa ang kanyang sagot. At bilang pagtatapos, nais ko lang pong ipaalala sa mga botante at sa Maynila at sa buong bansa, hindi nararapat sa atin, lalo na't siya'y nag-aambisyon na maging Pangulo, ang ayaw magsabi kung saan ginastos ang pondo ng bayan. Sino ba talaga ang pinaglilingkuran niya? Baka naman ang boss niya ay humaharang sa bangka ng mga Pilipinong mangingisda o ang mga promotor ng Pogo. Ganyan ba ang asal ng ating Vice Presidente at nag-aambisyong maging Presidente? We deserve better.
The question of how public officials handle confidential funds is not new. Globally, issues like this touch on the fundamental ethical principles of political governance. Transparency and accountability are cornerstones of a democratic system, ensuring that citizens can trust their leaders to act in the best interests of the public. Transparency isn't just about compliance with laws or procedures. It's an ethical obligation, one that establishes a relationship of trust between the government and its citizens. Without it, as we see in this case, the public is left questioning whether their leaders truly have their best interests at heart. Vice President Sara Duterte asserted that issues regarding confidential funds were a distraction from the real problems of the country, such as inflation and poverty. And while these are undoubtedly pressing issues, many argue that diverting attention away from accountability sidesteps the core issue: how officials should responsibly manage public resources in difficult times.
The controversy around confidential funds in the office of the Vice President raises essential questions about ethics and political governance. As representatives of the people, leaders are entrusted with public funds to address the country's most urgent needs. When there are inconsistencies, the people are justified in demanding clarity. This controversy serves as a reminder of the Filipino people's right to hold their leaders accountable, a fundamental pillar of ethical governance. Informed citizens form the backbone of any democracy. By understanding the principles of ethical governance, we can better advocate for the accountability and transparency we deserve. Let us continue to uphold these principles for the future of our nation.